Hello and welcome to No Particular Order, Mana Biscuit's weekly top 5 list show where we list our top 5 whatevers in no particular order. This week, it's the top 5 games that we're embarrassed to have skipped. All right, so we're going to get right into our list here, or actually kind of creating our lists this week. Where we decided to try something a little bit different in a sense from what we've done the last 2 episodes of No Particular Order, where we had the lists all neat and prepared and things to say, and try getting back to the roots of what this was when we did it as a segment on the main Mana Biscuit show, where it was just us sitting around and kind of trying to come up with things on the fly. I think that was a lot of fun. We'll see how it plays out. If you like this better, if you like the other one better, let us know in the comments, or since most of you know us in real life, just, text us or whatever. But we're going to get right into the list here. So the top 5 games that you're embarrassed to have skipped. So these would be games that are renowned for some particular reason, are well loved, immensely popular. The idea for me for the list came from the reaction I get whenever I tell somebody that I haven't seen Jaws or Terminator.
Terminator!
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So there are games like that for me. There's games like that, I'm sure, for everybody. We are going to bear our embarrassing secrets, our missing punches on our Gamer Geek cards for your viewing pleasure. And if you would like to return the favor and bear your secrets in the comments, we would appreciate it.
Bury yourself in the comments.
Yeah, just
like
be clothed when you do it.
Very shallow strata of our comments and never come back up.
Well, unfortunately, since we're lucky to get 3 comments, pretty much every comment is always at the top. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about whether or not you want to expose yourself.
Yeah, leave your list.
Yeah,
but leave your list. We want to know.
We do.
And, yeah.
All right, so Jay, go for it.
Right off the rip, man. I have never played Majora's Mask.
Neither have I.
I never completed it. I did play it.
Okay. We did make the decision to exclude because otherwise it's so broad. I mean, nobody finishes every game they play. Well, some people do, but they're a little psycho.
Well, in a related note, the first one that was going to come from me is Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past.
I almost thought about including that myself, but then I remembered I played it on the Game Boy Advance once, and it was really good. Well, all right, Jay. So you were number 1 in no particular order was Majora's Mask. Anything? Yeah. What's next?
What's next? Well, I never played Xenogears or Xenosaga.
None of the Xeno series. Not even
series.
Not the PS2 games. None of those.
Nope, none of those, man. I skipped completely over them, and nowadays back in the day it was kind of an anti-mech thing.
Which, yeah, you don't like mech games. That's not necessarily been documented on the show, but that's something I know about you, yeah.
Yeah, and it was very much an anti-mech thing. And nowadays I'm increasingly more and more into it as I've gotten into some of the other games that I've played. And
well, you're like a big JRPG guy, and those are one of the most lauded. Those are some of the most the Xenosaga games, particularly the second and third one, didn't get a lot of love from the critics, but Xenogears and Xenogears Chronicles have both been ridiculously well received. So valid entry on the list. What else you got?
Geez, and this is another one that you guys will shame me for. I've never played any of the Persona series.
I haven't either.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, we've talked about before. TJ hasn't played them either, but they are fantastic games. Particularly Persona 4 is, and it was just in the news today, or I should say, it was trending on Twitter earlier today that Persona 5 is not going to be released until 2016 in Europe. But we're still getting it this year, although there's not much of this year left, and we still don't have a date. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
I love the Persona games. Shame on both of you. Wow, what else you got, Jay?
That's what, 3, 4, Dino Crisis.
Okay.
I played Dino Crisis.
I play. It was. It's not my style of game, but I have played it, and it was ridiculously well received in the time. And you can still play it. You can download it on the PlayStation Store. And one more.
Chrono Cross and Chrono Trigger.
What?
Chrono Series. I've never played them.
I've never played them either.
What?
Yeah. That's.
I mean, okay. I've never.
My love for Square, and yet I've never played any of the Chrono series.
Oh, man, because all right.
He's ashamed of me.
No, it's amazing that yeah, you're far more into JRPGs than I am, and the greatest JRPG of the 16-bit generation you've never played.
He's not into JRPGs.
I am.
He's just a JRPG hipster.
My goodness,
you're a JRPG poser, man.
Poser.
Yep, exactly.
Oh.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
All right. Well, okay. So that I will say that is definitely in the spirit, and I might have one or two that I think will get the same reaction from you guys. But
okay, I hope so.
Yeah.
I am feeling a little ashamed.
Well, the thing with Chrono Trigger, not only is it a brilliant game, you can play it on everything in the world now. It's on the Wii, it's on the PlayStation consoles, it's on the PlayStation handhelds. It's everywhere. There's just anyway. I can't even.
I think I will buy a Vita on Friday.
Nice. Vitas are amazing for that. You do that. You can download both of them as PlayStation Classics from the PSN store, which I have done. And that's I actually a few weeks ago on the main show we were talking about how I was in a JRPG kick, and that was another thing that I did is I started another playthrough of Chrono Cross actually. But anyway. All right, TJ, have you gotten your list in hand yet? You think you can do
Not
this?
Not really, but I'll start.
Well, I can go if you want. I can give you time.
Opportunities to, and I can shame you both simultaneously.
Number one, like I said, Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, and that's horrifying to me, and it's horrifying to a lot of people. But I haven't, sadly, there's a lot of the Legend of Zelda games that I never played because I don't generally own Nintendo consoles. The only Nintendo console I've ever actually owned was an NES.
See, Nintendo's the one console that I always go to eventually. Every generation I have owned, with the exception of the Wii, but I have the Wii U, which is backwards compatible.
Right.
So I kind of do have the Wii.
Yeah.
I've always gone. I had the GameCube. I had 64. I had SNES, I had NES.
Yeah, I made the horrifying mistake because a friend of mine had a Sega Genesis. When my mother asked me what I wanted for Christmas, a Sega Genesis or a Super Nintendo, I went with the Sega Genesis because I had a friend that I could trade games with.
You know, that you say horrifying mistake, but my brothers and I made the same decision back when we wanted the Sega instead. And I mean, I do somewhat regret not getting to play the Final Fantasy 6, Final Fantasy 3 as it was released when it was new. I've of course since played it, but I no regrets for the Genesis, man. No regrets for the Genesis.
I don't have a single. My parents didn't give me the option. My parents, my parents bought a Genesis and that was it. There was no which do you want. You know, it was Genesis, and I don't regret any of that. Ultimately, I think that my love for the Final Fantasy and things like that wouldn't have been what it is if it weren't for the fact that I didn't have one.
You had to admire them from afar for a while.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right, so after Link to the Past, because this is the short show. Remember, this is the short show.
Okay. StarCraft.
Oh, yep. Yeah, that's... I'm obviously not a competitive StarCraft gamer, but and I'm not an RTS fan in general, but when it came out, I did sink a few dozen hours into that. And yeah.
I'm an RTS fan, and I can't say I've ever played StarCraft.
Well, up until not that terribly long ago, I mean, it's long ago now, but it doesn't feel like it to me, but it was probably within the last 5 years that I ever played a Warcraft game that wasn't World of Warcraft. Like, I didn't play Warcraft 3 at release. I wasn't a PC gamer when I was
Right. Yeah, Warcraft. Well, Warcraft 2, or that was notable for me because it released when I was a junior in high school, and it was the first time I ever heard a teacher swear in front of me when he was playing on the LAN with co-op with another teacher, and he's like, "Get these damn orcs off my wall!" I'm like, "But you're such a reserved biology teacher normally." Anyway.
Let's see.
Everybody turns into a madman.
See, and yeah, it's true. Everybody just goes crazy. I'm trying to think of other games that come up, because there are other games that were like classic, but I played other entries in the series. Like, there are a number of Final Fantasies that I didn't play, but I played several of them anyway. There's a million of them now.
Right.
I never played Final Fantasy Tactics, and that fucking haunts me.
There you go. That's a legitimate entry. Tactics is probably more lauded, more loved than a number of main series entries.
Yeah. Very much so. Tactics Advance was honestly, in my opinion, even better. And Shamlin.
I'm sorry.
All right, 2 more.
I don't know that I want to sit on this couch.
This is painful. But we're all gonna have our turn, and hopefully our viewers commiserate with us and reveal some of their shame as well. So,
this one, it doesn't feel as bad to me, but it seems bad, especially after the last couple of years. But the XCOM series.
I never played one before the PS3 version, but after having played the PS3 version, it was an amazing experience. That's for sure.
I have all of them. I still haven't played them.
It's what Enemy
Within.
Well,
never played it. Makes me sad.
XCOM, The Bureau, Enemy Within.
Yeah, the Bureau was kind of crap.
Bureau over there.
Huh?
I have a copy of The Bureau over there.
Yeah, The Bureau, they tried to make a first-person shooter out of it, like they do, like large publishers seem to want to do. All their IPs, first-person shooter. Oh, Syndicate, that great tactical game that everybody loved about. Let's reboot that and make it a first-person shooter. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
Syndicate could be on my list. I never played the original.
And let's see what I want to have for my last game. This would be so much easier if it was movies.
All right. Well, let's see.
Oh, you're thinking.
You did, yeah. Just to avoid the dead air here, you did mention what games in the Final Fantasy mainline series haven't you played? And we'll see if any of those are embarrassing.
Well, 6/3.
Okay, there you go. We're done.
Yeah,
that's the one that makes me.
Yeah.
That's actually what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Then I threw in Tactics instead. But like for the Final Fantasy series, I played 1, and then skipped entirely to 8. Went back to 7. Didn't finish it because it's cursed for me. And then a little bit of 9, and then 10, and then so on and so forth. But yeah, it just feels chintzy having 2 Final Fantasies on the list, and I didn't know whether Tactics was horrible.
Tactics isn't a main series game though. So, although I believe Final Fantasy 12 existed in the Tactics world.
Yes.
Yeah. So but that still doesn't make it a main series game. But all right, so I think that's a fair list. Thank you for sharing. Time to bear my shame before you, gentlemen. So number 1 on my list, and I mentioned this to you guys when I brought up the list, is in fact System Shock.
I didn't play it either.
Yeah.
And I wish I.
Yeah, it's one of those games that's always talked about as being a game changer.
Well, 2.
Yeah, System Shock 2, yep. Yeah, being a game changer, and I've never played it in spite of people saying, if you haven't played this game, you need to play it now. It's sitting on my hard drive. I bought it from GOG. I still haven't played it.
I mean, I played all the Bioshock games.
Yeah. Well, I played Bioshock and Bioshock Infinite. I skipped Bioshock 2, although it's on my shelf.
Can I throw in the fact that I actually played 2 on my shame list?
I mean, 2 wasn't bad. It's just, from what I read, 2 wasn't bad. It's just that it wasn't as good as Bioshock. And
it was more...
I started with 2, and I enjoyed 2.
It was more of Bioshock, but less good.
Yeah. Well, fair enough. All right, so System Shock 2 for me. After System Shock 2, the next one on my list is original Half-Life.
Either.
Yeah, I remember...
wait. I played it for a couple of hours.
Oh, okay.
Because it was free on GOG, so I did play it, but did not complete it. Not on my list. Woo!
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I never played the original Half-Life. I remember how much people were, raving about it at the time. A friend of mine in school just comes up and is like, "Yeah, man, and like these guys, they will actually try to flank you." And it sounded amazing, and nothing like anything that had been seen before in first-person shooters. And I just never played it, and
it wasn't even an FPS at the time. It was an isometric.
Half-Life?
Or no, not Half-Life. I'm thinking of Fallout.
Oh, right. And I have played the original Fallouts. I have played all the Fallouts, so I can't put any of those on my list.
I don't think I ever played original Half-Life. I played one of the mods of it with like better graphics. Does that count?
Possibly, I guess. I don't know. I mean, because there were like Counter-Strike was a Half-Life mod, so.
Well, yeah, but it wasn't the.
But that's like a completely different game too, which I would say I would put on my list, but I'm not embarrassed to have not played a purely competitive shooter. That's not my bag.
No, I have I have Counter-Strike. I got Counter-Strike Stars, and I have Counter-Strike Go, and neither of them I've played.
All right.
Never played Go.
The next two I'm going to do at once because they're very similar in terms of style, and that is, or I should say, those are Metroid, Super Metroid, and Symphony of the Night.
Ah!
I knew that would be the one that would get a reaction out of TJ.
Okay, I almost put Super Metroid on mine, although I did technically play it for like a half an hour once.
I played it for...
but I don't even think that it qualifies as something that I played but didn't finish, so I barely touched it. And that made me feel bad, but I covered the fact that I didn't have a Super Nintendo, and I feel bad. But Symphony!
Well,
didn't we discuss recently?
Yes, we discussed.
I had Symphony of the Night on every conceivable
yes.
system.
And that's why I knew that one would get a reaction. I actually, the thing you mentioned for the PSP, the Castlevania game that allowed you to unlock Symphony of the Night, I got that thinking I'll finally play Symphony of the Night, but I never finished the game I needed to finish to unlock it.
You don't actually have to finish it. It's in the middle of a level, like there's a little floating disc, and you just collect it, and it's unlocked in the, I want to say, the options screen. There's a real good chance that without even realizing it, you already unlocked it.
I didn't get past the first level.
I want to say in the first world? I might be off. But
it's been years since
it's a game! Rondo? Ah!
All right. Okay. Well, then I suppose...
I think you've killed him.
I think, yeah, I need 5 to round out, but I guess I probably should have ended with that one. Because nothing else is going to compare. What else could I admit to here? There's a few things that I could admit to. Well, I like I said earlier, I never played Syndicate, but that's a little bit before our time in our generation. But I never retroactively went back and played it, so I'm not going to put that on the list. But I will say it would be All right. So if I'm being perfectly honest here, I really don't care a whole lot that I haven't played these games, but I've never played a single Call of Duty game, like even when they were still classic. Like I did play
No, I played a Battlefield game.
I I mean, I played World of War. I played Black Ops. I played some of Black Ops 2. I played Modern Warfare 1, but not 2 or 3. There were 3.
Oh, actually, you know what? In that vein, something a little bit more appropriate that I'll put as my official entry. Halo 4.
It's good.
Yeah, and it was really well received. And Halo, as it's been well documented with us, that Halo is strong in our history, and I've just never played it. So there you go.
Well, Halo and Halo 2 is strong in our history.
You'll be around more in the future,
yeah,
probably, and I have it, and I have the system to play it on.
Right.
Over here, and we'll co-op through it. It takes like 5 or 6 hours co-oping through it.
There you go.
See the story.
We'll do it. All right.
Also, I'm gonna strap you to a chair and force you to play Symphony of the Night 9 times in a row. No food or water, because you're a monster.
You're a monster. All right. Let's recap the list here. Let's see what we all have in common from the top.
Actually, let's do our top 5 of the top 5.
Well, that's why I want to.
Symphony.
Well, but Symphony is. I want to see if we have 5 that none of us have played out of this list. I'm not sure if we do or not.
Yeah. We can see if we can make this work.
All right, and then we'll let TJ. Worst case, we let TJ rant about Symphony some more. So Jay's list was Majora's Mask.
Chrono series.
That's fine, buddy. You're all right.
All right.
You're terrible.
You, sir, should be ashamed.
Okay, so what else? What was on the list that none of us have played?
Majora's Mask.
I did play for a couple of hours. Not enough to really say that I played.
Let's see. Well, just looking at the rest of the list, I went through both the years and I played them all. So, none of us have played System Shock 2?
No.
Nope.
None of. Let's see. Jay, did you ever play Super Metroid?
No, I did not have.
Okay.
I didn't do the Super Nintendo thing, and ultimately, when I did start playing Metroid, it was either a classic Metroid.
So that's it. System Shock 2 and Super Metroid are the only ones that go across all 3. So let's just do a regular top 5. The top 5 most embarrassing overall, regardless of who's played them or not. So I know it will be everything but Symphony of the Night. So by that I mean Symphony of the Night is the gimme. The next one is going to be the Chrono series for Jay. For TJ, Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah.
And let's see
Actually, I almost would go Tactics before I went 6.
Let's do it both again. Let's double up Final Fantasy on this list too. And yeah, let's pile on TJ so he can get his money's worth for this Symphony of the Night rant here. I'm gonna say Link to the Past. Link to the Past.
Actually, honestly, I wasn't impressed.
Really? I remember. Granted, it's been at least 10 years.
Put that on my list.
So basically, this is the TJ, you're a monster, except for RJ's actually a monster. Yes.
Yes. Wait. What about?
No. I would say, in my estimation, the most egregious on this list. Like, I know this is no particular order, but yeah, the most egregious is the Chrono series.
Yeah.
Not just because Chrono Trigger is probably one of the greatest games ever made, but Jay is supposed to be this JRPG fanatic, and he's never played it. So there's that.
No.
Okay, so there we go. There's the top 5 out of the 5.
Yep. Top
Everybody
5
in the comments, please.
All right, yep.
Everybody shame for Symphony.
I just put it up there.
Let us know if you like the organic format or the pre-listed format, which I'll put my vote for pre-listed already. Do we want to put up future topics to public opinion?
Maybe.
I would love to hear other people's suggestions.
Yeah,
I mean,
give us suggestions. We might not necessarily take them or take them immediately, but let us know what you want us to list off. English time.
Yeah.
I will openly admit that I'll probably disregard half of you, especially you, Craig. Just saying.
Yeah. Specific shout outs. That's great. All right. So.
Well, there's probably not with our audience, but if we actually had an audience, there would be a bunch of dudes named Craig going, "Why me?
Why me?"
Yeah. All right. Well, that'll be it then for this week's No Particular Order. Join us next week when our list will be top 5 ways TJ is going to brutalize me in order to coerce me into playing Symphony of the Night. And we will see you next week.